Hi, guys. I'm Helen Barada. Welcome to Abundant Life 360. We are so glad you are here. And we want to welcome everyone, especially if you're brand new to First Place. We have something special for you. We actually have a discount. It's part of our Abundant Life 360. For the next 10 days, you can get a 10% discount on our member kit, which includes my most important book, My Place for Discovery. It includes Vicki Heath's My First Place. It includes Mary Ward's My Place for Fitness, and Charlotte Davis wrote My Place for Nutrition. Those four books are like they're our go kit. They are what you need to be successful with First Place. And so for $69.99 is our normal price, and you can get it for $7 off. So if you would like to do that, the code is FP4HMK. And I'm going to type that right now. FP4HMK is the coupon code, and it's good for 10 days. It expires on October 30th. All right. So without further ado, I'm so excited to introduce my friend, who I met through First Place. Thank goodness for First Place. Brought me together with Pam. I've gotten to speak with her a couple of times, seen her in person, gone on a walk with her. She's just one awesome lady. And she is in the fight of her life right now, which she's going to talk about right now. But I join her. I'm wearing a hat today in honor of her because she has some of the cutest hats because that's where she is. So anyway, you guys, here is Pam Farrell.
Hey, my sweet First Place for Health sisters. It's so good to have you here. We're going to talk about how to rebuild, restore, rejuvenate back to your healthy, thriving life. I'm going to give you six super simple tips to help you thrive. But I have to give you a little backstory first. And that is a couple years ago. Actually, about almost 17, 18 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes too. And through First Place for Health, I did Carol Lewis, Give God a Year. And I was very faithful. And I lost a total of 70 pounds and was able to keep that off for more than a decade, close to 15 years. And we downsized, moved to caregive Bill's parents, and we decided to do hashtag crazy fun midlife adventure. We live on a boat because it was really close to caregiving, but way more fun. And so after that very stressful year of downsizing, I started having some weirdest side effects, and I was diagnosed a more accurate way. I have diabetes 1.5, which basically means it's an autoimmune disease and it's kind of fragile, hard to manage. I call myself an official high maintenance chick. They were working on different meds with me, and nothing was getting that glucose down where it really needed to be, as far down as it needed to be. Exercise and good nutrition, it was all working, but not going far enough down. And so I was sent to an endocrinologist. She gave me new meds, but hey, Hollywood likes some of those meds. And so, and it was supply chain issues that we all know about, right? So I couldn't take my new meds with me on this trip to speak for creatives in Texas. So on the way to Texas, somehow, some way, I broke my top rib and I was in extreme pain when I got home from that conference. The only time the pain subsided, this is interesting, was when I was worshiping or when I was speaking. And I think that's so God. But Bill took me to our neighborhood ER. That doctor was the one who diagnosed it was a broken rib, and I had been taking over the counter pain meds, and then he gave me another really strong pain med. Anyway, it shut my system down. I became toxic, and by Sunday of that week, I stood up, threw up. I my heart was racing. Bill walked in. We were inland at the RV that we stay with when we oversee Bill's then 94-year-old parents. Um, and I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. My dad died of a heart attack. And so Bill rushed me to the hospital. I was wrapped in God's peace, was only 5 minutes away. And get this, I was the only one in the ER. And a series of miracles happened. And Bill shouted out my backstory about my dad and having a heart attack, and my brother having a heart attack at 40. And he said, oh, and by the way, she's diabetic. And one doctor says, I know what this is. It's a DKA, which is like a fancy term for you're going into a diabetic coma and you could die. And so they put me in a medically induced coma. And then during that time, as soon as I was in the coma, God took me to the heavenlies, and I share about it in detail in Glimpse of God's Glory. But be one woman's near death experience. But basically, God wrapped himself around me, and we had a conversation for many, many hours until I asked him, okay, so this is beautiful. This is amazing. You're so incredible. There's so much peace here and love and joy, and I'd love to stay. But God, I have two grandsons that are going to be born around the corner. I'd love to be able to pour into their life. You're like, am I going to heaven, or are you going to send me back? I feel like I've run the race. I've fought the good fight. Written 60 books, so I've done plenty. I'm ready. And basically, God said, you've been seeing the outer gates. You've been seeing the angels. You've been seeing how I answer prayer. But the gate is not open to you, Pam. It is not time for you to come to heaven. Time for you to go back. And just then I woke up in the ER. Bill had been sent home to rest and was told, we have her as stable as we can get her. If anything changes, we'll call you. So he went home praying that he would not get a phone call. And so the nurse ran in, and I was on a ventilator, another scary thing for most people to hear the stats on that. But she says, you probably want to know what happened. And I nodded my head. My hands were tied down, couldn't do much else. And she began to explain. And I saw a whiteboard. And so I pointed at the whiteboard in the pen. And she's like, oh, you want to write me a note? And I nodded. And so on the whiteboard, I wrote heart, happy face, thanks, with an arrow towards her. And she started to cry because she said, nobody ever tells us thank you. I'm like, this is crazy. Nobody tells you thank you. And just then Bill walked in the room and he said, you're back. You're back. You're all the way back. You are writing and you're bossing people around. And so we both had a good laugh, even on the ventilator. But almost immediately I realized, wow, this is going to be something to come all the way back to fitness from, well, near death. And so I have gathered some information of things that God helped me with that I'll shoot your direction, and write the word thrive down. And it's just a simple acrostic, because that's what God wants us to do, is thrive. And in Proverbs 11:28, God says the righteous will thrive or flourish like a green leaf. So the first is T, take simple steps. Seek the Lord and his strength, seek his presence, continually go on prayer walks with God. When I first came out of the hospital, I felt overwhelmed at where to start. And I thought, well, let's just start where we were in the hospital, doing laps around the nurses' station. And then I'll just do one more step, one more step, one more step. My friend Dana Dimitri of Ageless Living said, small steps add up in a big way over time. And if you've hung out at First Place for Health, you've heard somebody, mostly I've heard my friend Vicki Heath say, do something because it's better than nothing. So just one more step, one more step. And so Bill and I started prayer walking twice a day, a little bit at first in our neighborhood, then the mall, and then walk the dock by our boat. Then I got stronger, walk the beach, and then walk stairs. Don't take the elevator, and do stadiums that were just the stairs in our park. And I use a Fitbit or some kind of tracking device and just try to take one step more than you did yesterday. Just park further away, and try to work back to those 10,000 steps. I when I get really discouraged, I sing that little children's song from, I think it's Frosty the Snowman. Just put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be dancing across the floor. So, where's your favorite place to walk? In the chat, write down one of your favorite places to walk. You're more likely to be motivated if you're walking someplace you enjoy. And then the H is for harness the power of movement. Whatever we do, do it heartily for the Lord, Colossians 3:23. Let God be your personal trainer. And when you pray, God will send you ideas because movement inspires more movement. And so just start to your walking, adding something else every day, something gentle, like stretching. I use my Pilates ring before I get out of bed and as I go to bed every night. And you can just Google how to do that. There's plenty of YouTube videos, and just stretch. There's apps like a 5-minute yoga app. I started swimming right away because that's very gentle. Water aerobics. Try to cross train your muscles, just add something new. I wanted to take the next step, and so I joined a Pilates studio, and that's one of my favorite hours of the week there. Praise moves is like Christian yoga. So you turn on, and then ballet bar, just turn on some Christian music and move somehow, some way. When you connect movement to worship, you get motivated and it ministers to you soul, spirit, and body. Then R, reach for new challenges. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. I know you have that one memorized, Philippians 4:13. I knew that I had to add rebuilding my strength and stamina, my perseverance. And so that's when I started adding in like the bands and doing workout with bands, or light weights. And then you just add more reps or add more weights. And then I started doing circuit training at our marina. We have a workout club. You can just join your neighborhood workout facility and add some weights to what you're doing. And then well, I started adding hit workout, but my husband needed to do hit workout too. So his birthday present is called a penalty box. And it's just a fun way to do different hit workouts. So look for like unique, fun things that you can do. I jumped on Body and Soul and started doing just the adapted version until I could do like what the center person was doing. I love the inner circle workouts. So join inner circle because those workouts are really, they're gentle, they're powerful, they're wonderful. And my goal was, oh, and then AARP has things like silver sneakers, free workouts. So I did online with my goal is I want to go to a live class because then I'll feel like an Olympian because I'll be stretched and motivated to stay the whole time. I don't want to quit. So my goal was to get back to a live and in-person um, class. And then invest in relationships is the I. Iron sharpens iron, Proverbs 27, 17. And so intentional relationships. I asked for more time with my First Place for Health leader, with Mary Ward, who oversees the workouts. I read books by my friends and medical experts. I phoned friends who had gone through a car accident or a fall or a surgery or who had been in a coma like me. What did you do? That I learned a lot from them. Then I tapped the wisdom of doctors and nurses and various online experts that they would recommend. I made an appointment for physical therapy and I learned a lot from my physical therapist. And when that transitioned to be on your own, hey, I have a daughter in law who's a physical therapist and a son who is a strength coach for a college. So I pulled them in. But really, I want to give you a hint. The best thing I did was recruit my grandkids. Hey, take Nana on a walk. Hey, take Nana to the park. Hey, play soccer or baseball with Nana. Recently, like last week, we did fun music dancing to Danny Go. So if you just do what your littles do, it's amazing how in shape you can get. And in all of that, I invested in a prayer team because I knew I could not make it back without prayer. Then the venture into delightful distractions. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans that I have for you to give you to prosper you, give you a future, give you a hope. So God wants to make it fun. Fitness should be fun. So think about things that you love to do. I signed up for a tap dance class at the center that's 2 blocks away. So I walk there and I tap dance so I could tap dance with my granddaughter. Then I signed up for a Persian dancing class so I could rebuild my arms and my core. Then I signed up for free line dancing lessons because we love that. And my goal was, hey, I'm gonna every morning put on praise music and just worship through dance, or I'm gonna say, Alexa, put on 70s music or 60s music or 50s music, and then just like, dance some of your favorite, do the twist. Yeah. So to put more fun in the chat, put down what you loved to do when you were younger. Were you a baton twirler? Did you ride bikes? Because what you're looking for is God's delightful distractions for you. And then E is embrace life. John 10:10 says, I have come that they might have life and might have it to the full. That means full to overflowing. In my Bible study, Good News in John, I look at the names of Jesus. He's the way, the truth, and the life. And that word life is Zoe. If I were ever going to have a girl, I have 3 boys, but if I ever going to have a girl, I would want her to be named Zoe because it means life, emotional, spiritual, physical, relational, mental, life, all encompassing life that's created and sustained by God. So get your Zoe on. And what you want to do is do the next thing. The next right thing is what Elizabeth Elliot says, but I say do the next right thing that stretches you, that you cannot do on your own power, that you need God. So that means I ask God, okay, when can I go back to ministry? When can I have my first Zoom? When can I jump in and finish this book I'm under deadline for? When can I do coaching online? When can I start traveling and speaking again? And when can I sign a new book contract? 10 weeks from coma to first place for health at Sandy Cove. God got me strong enough to teach at Sandy Cove in 10 weeks. But it did take a full year to get all my strength and stamina back. At the end of that year, 1 year from the date I went in to a coma, I wrote this Facebook post with a picture of me jumping. Jumping takes a lot. And I said, jumping for joy. 1 year ago, I woke from a coma. God gave me a clear word. And that verse that he gave me when I got out of the hospital, for you have delivered me from death and my feet from stumbling, that I may walk before God in the light of life. So he gave me a clear word, life, and I want you to walk it out. And so I'm currently, this year, God allowed me to write Growing a Joyful Heart devotional, and 2 books on wisdom, and a foreword for my friend Michelle, because I raised boys and so did she. And God basically said, you're back to work, girl, which was awesome. And I functioned in that wellness, and I was like riding bikes and I was skating and I was swimming, and I had been my goal weight, and I felt strong until Mother's Day this year. We were flying back to see my grandson and my son Caleb and his wife, that's a physical therapist. Jessica. We landed. It's about midnight. I went to sleep after giving hugs to everybody. And at 3 in the morning, excruciating pain. I woke Bill up about, I was trying to put it off, gut it out till sunrise. I woke him up. I'm like, the doctor right now. Something's really, really wrong. I'm in so much pain. So I thought it was kidney stones or something. Well, I get to the hospital and uh, the directions to the hospital. I remember the GPS says turn right on Mercy Lane. I'm like, that's Mercy right now. And so I walk in, I'm screaming in pain. I was the only one in the ER. I don't know how that works out, but God is so good to me. And they did a bunch of tests, and it was discovered that I had an ovarian cyst that was like 3 phones size wise. It was huge and it was twisting. So pain saved my life. And I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, but at stage 1. And I have been undergoing chemotherapy. So my friend Maggie gave me this really cute hat. Is the first hat I got after I shaved my head. And you know what? I said, wow, God, now we're dealing with cancer. And it was like the Holy Spirit whispered to me, but you know what to do to thrive, right, Pam? You just need to take those small steps and invest in, take those small steps and harness the power of movement and invest in relationships, venture into delightful distractions, and embrace life. And you can keep to thriving even in the midst of this chemo and cancer journey that you're on. And so to hold myself accountable, I do Teal Tuesdays, where I have Facebook Live on Pamela Farrell, author, and I share a health update, something I've learned about crushing cancer, kicking cancer to the curb. And then I also share what God's teaching me. And that holds me accountable for having the right attitude, that thriving attitude. Last time I went to the doctor for chemo, he said, Pam, hey, how about you become a patient advocate? Because you have such a positive, thriving attitude. I'm like, whoop, yay, thank you, God. So every day is a gift, and we choose how we live it. And I don't know about you, but no matter how much life kicks me down and Satan tries to crush out the voice of God in my life, he's not going to win. We're going to crush cancer and we're going to move forward. And I'm going to live to thrive till the day Jesus takes me to heaven. And I'm not afraid of that because I've been there already and it is glorious.
Wow. Pam, it is so exciting to hear about you. You're so good. I just want to say I'm so glad you went over those thrives again because I missed the V. So venture into delightful distractions.
Distractions.
I love that. I can appreciate the distractions that you need when you're under so much stress sometimes. So I love that. That's awesome. But I just want to thank Pam. She's a first placer, as she shared. She's in a first place for health group, and she is a speaker for us and, many times. And so I highly recommend all of her books. Personally, I personally love the Get Her Done Girl. That's my
Maximize your moment.
yeah, maximize
The
that. Personally,
productivity planner.
I
Yeah.
still have focus days and I have focus days and fun days, focus days and people days. I forget how it's
Yay.
yeah. So I love
Hey,
that.
here's the upside though. I found so the focus day, you have to do your hair and makeup, but
Yeah.
I saved like an hour. I don't have
I
hair.
know. What's
Like
about
it's
that?
such a time saver.
All right. So somebody wants to know what the T, so it's take simple steps is the T. H is harness the power of movement, right? R is reach for new challenges. I is invest in relationships. V is venture into delightful distractions. And E is embrace life.
Best life. Zoe,
I
get your Zoe on.
Get your Zoe on. I just am going to start moving. I say live life. I agree. So Pam, thank you so much. We so appreciate everything you've done. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Abundant Life 360 is all about hearing great stuff in a short period of time. Look at Pam. She's got things bursting on her screen. I love that. And y'all just come on back. We'll be here next month. And she talked about the inner circle. If you haven't heard about the inner circle, it is a subscription that you can do. If you go to the First Place for Health website, look for inner circle there, or you can just type in First Place for Health / inner circle. It's awesome. Our awesome Vicky Heath does a workout every Tuesday, or somebody does a workout on Tuesday evenings, and it's awesome. I actually have a group on Tuesday night, so I do the workout on Wednesday morning. So it's recorded. It's on our Facebook page for that group. So
It's perfect for
everyone,
me, like Teal Tuesday, and then go watch the workout. It works out perfect.
yes, it does. So anyway, guys, thank you for all you do. We love you. Thank you, Pam. You did great.
God bless.